Hey gang, Space-Time Badass here. Today we're going to talk about how many lucid dreams you can expect starting out and then progressing into the future. It's a common question, especially for beginners, but this is one of those things that really depends on how much you put into it. And I'd like to say that it to some extent it is what you put into it, you get out of it, but it's not exactly proportionate because you can put a lot into it and you can do that kind of wrong in some points. Ooh, somebody's having fun. You can end up potentially doing some things wrong, like your reality checks might not be a high enough quality, for instance, and you could be putting a lot of energy into that, and then the payoff isn't so great because of the quality of the things that you're doing. There's a lot of little quirks and things like that that you can kind of do wrong in the beginning. But you want to make sure that the quality of the effort that you're putting into it is maximum effort and as correct as you can research it to be, so that way you actually maximize what you put into it. You'll get a higher return on what you get out of it, but to some extent, yeah, you get what you put into it within reason. But it's one of those things that it can be really sporadic. If you do a reality check every hour of every day for like a week straight, you could have 0 lucid dreams. That is a possibility. You could have one every night, which is a possibility, but also an unlikely one, depending. Different per person. Everything in lucid dreaming, as with everything else in life, is different per person. Now, I want to say that probably per month, what I would consider average lucid dreaming is probably between 1 and 5 lucid dreams per month, which doesn't sound like a lot at all. And especially if there's people that want to have one every night, and I sympathize with those people. I was also one of those, and I still do keep up with my reality checks and dream journal and all of that. And what I'm averaging out is still about 1 to 5 a month. It kind of settles in that range, depending. I mean, there's months where I could have 3 or 4 a week. I rarely would have like one every night, but it could be you could have 3 or 4 a week every week, or it's kind of like rolling the dice, and every time you get a new number, right? So it's a lot like that. It is kind of sporadic, and there's things that work better for people to maximize on that, and then they won't work so well for other people. So it's really just finding what's right for you and making sure that you dedicate enough time and energy into the practices that work for you. So how do you tell if something works for you is testing it out. A minimum, I like to say a minimum of 2 weeks if you're trying out a new method, but a lot of people don't have that patience. So I at least a week, try a reality check, a solid reality check, add it to your routine, or a solid technique. Try that out for at least 1 to 2 weeks wholeheartedly to see if it works for you. And if you notice an improvement, add that to your routine, and then you can add that and keep figuring out other things to try, see if that works more or less, and just keep the things that work, and the things that don't work for you, just toss them aside, and that's how you can really maximize on your lucid dreaming potential. Now, even Robert Wagner, which is, if you don't know who Robert Wagner is, why are you even watching this video? Wrote some wonderful books. I think he co-authored on Lucid Dreaming, Plain and Simple, and then had written Lucid Dreaming, Gateway to the Inner Self, and that's a fantastic read. If you haven't read it, I'm like whoring his books out to every lucid dreamer because they are amazing. Well, that one is amazing, and there's a lot of good information in that, like true blue information. And Robert Wagner does say that on average, I think he said about 2 or 3, or somewhere between 2 and 4. I don't think it was 1 to 5. It was I think he said about, on average, about 3 lucid dreams a month for Robert Wagner, for like the fucking know-it-all badass of lucid dreaming. 3 a month. So it's not so much that you have to have a lot of lucid dreams to have quality lucid dreams. You could end up just having 1 a week or 1 every 2 weeks, but it's really what the content of the dreams is. Now, starting out, it's going to be more difficult to maximize that quality. So a lot of it's just kind of getting your sea legs, as it were, and learning how to go throughout the dream and how to stabilize it so the dream doesn't collapse. And then you'll get to a point where you can you can realize that you're lucid dreaming, you can maintain the dream, and then you have that freedom to go out and do the things that you want to do in that dream. For a lot of people, it might be just leisure. I like to focus on personal growth, self-improvement, that sort of thing. So for me, quality of a lucid dream means uncovering something within myself, or discovering an area of fear or doubt or some other problem that might be holding me back, just kind of unearthing new things about yourself, and overall improving your quality of being, your state of mind and state of being, and thereby improving your quality of life. So for me, what I might find to be a successful dream might be different than what you would say is a successful lucid dream. That might be flying for you, or getting wish fulfillment out of it. For me, that's having a solid conversation with a dream character that really hits home, or meditating in a lucid dream that just completely opens up my world and changes who I am fundamentally. And that's really what I wish on everyone who partakes in lucid dreaming. So quantity does not mean quality, and I guess unless you're looking for fun. But I mean, it is possible to have multiple lucid dreams a week, pretty much every week. The number is never going to stay the same. It just depends. Are you giving yourself enough time to sleep each night? Are you staying away from electronics an hour or so before bed? What about caffeine? You staying away from caffeine, I think, 3 hours before bed? Are you taking any supplements to help you out? I was on a regimen of vitamin B5 and fish oil twice a day, once as I woke up, once before I actually went to put my head down on the pillow to go to sleep, and that was working for me for a good long while until I just stopped because I didn't feel like doing it anymore. But it's really what you put into it to a certain extent. But again, it's rolling that dice. It's hard to say how many lucid dreams can you expect. Let's say that you're doing everything 100% right, then it still varies per person. You could do everything right. Your reality checks are fucking spot on. They're flawless. You're doing them wholeheartedly, and you're actually really questioning the reality that you're in every time. You're doing that dream journal. You're doing it right. You're keeping track of your dream signs so you can make good reality checks. You're employing a solid technique that you know works for you. And let's say you're even taking some sort of supplement or dream herb or whatever it is that you found to be fucking the greatest for you. Even still, 1 to 5, per month. It's hard to say, but it could very well be more than that. There have been months where I've had holy shit, I had 20 lucid dreams this month. Or there have been months where I haven't had any. It's just the nature of the beast. When you're dealing with consciousness and the person, just think about all the things that you put into your body. Your sleep schedule may not stay the same throughout the month. There are stressors that can happen that can cause you to freak out. You could be taking a new substance or something like that. Maybe you got super drunk and so you didn't dream, and that can kind of carry over. You're not getting a good quality of sleep maybe the next night. You're taking drugs or whatever that might influence dreams. They say marijuana does that, but I ain't noticed, I'll tell you that. But the point is, there's a lot of stuff. You could change up. You don't keep the same diet throughout the month. If you're a normal person, you could probably try a certain food that chemically reacts in a way that might affect your body differently. You don't know. Events in life happen, and they affect us all individually in different ways. So that's life. Life is constantly going, and it's constant change, so we don't know 100%. If we had a control that said that, this is our diet, this is what we're doing every single day, then you might have a better guess of what is 100% going to work for you and how many lucid dreams you would get per month. But it's still, at some point, it's a roll of that dice. And I'd say if you're getting anywhere from anywhere about 3+ lucid dreams a month, you're doing good. So don't be discouraged. You're going to have more, you're going to have less, it's going to happen. that's life. But as long as you stick with it, those rewarding experiences will come, and you will learn how to harness them and get your full potential out of them. So it doesn't matter if you have 1 or 100 lucid dreams a month, you're still getting that quality that can impact your life and make you feel better and be a better person. Thanks for watching. As always, I'm Spacetime Badass. Take it easy.